Good morning, fellow students, and you're welcome to our first practical lessons. So for this lesson, we're going to continue the exercise of spreadsheets, which we started in class on page 16. If you entered the report card very well, you have what is displayed on the screen. So for the things which we are supposed to calculate, we're supposed to calculate the total for sequence 1. That's the first thing we're supposed to calculate. So to get the total for sequence 1, the total for biology, we are supposed to input a formula. I told you that every formula in Excel starts with an equal to. So in Excel, you don't manipulate values. To get a total for biology, it's supposed to be 12, which is the score, times 3, which is the coefficient. But Excel does not manipulate values. Excel manipulates addresses. So the total here will be equals to, where you have 12, the address is E13. So it is going to be equal to E13 times the coefficient for biology is found in cell C13. So it's equal to be E13 times C13. Then you press your enter key. After you press your enter key, you see 36 displayed. You are not going to do the calculation, of course. I told you that the strength of Excel is that it does your calculation rapidly and efficiently. So for you to do it efficiently, you put your mouse at the bottom right of the cell, then you click and you drag, and it's going to give you the calculation for all the various subjects. If we look at here, we'll discover that history was not done by the student for first sequence. So we'll just delete for history. Then after that, we're supposed to get the total mark for the student for the first sequence. We're also going to input a formula. It's going to be equal to, rather than using a formula is very long, cumbersome, and mechanical since you are inputting all the cells. So in order for you to do it simpler, you can use a function. So we're going to use a sum function to sum up all the score. So it's going to be equal to a function, just like the formula starts with equal to. After equal to, you write the name of the function. So you should know that the function is an in-built formula, which is how to make you do your calculations rapidly. So equals to, put the sum function, we put the name of the function. So as the name is displayed, we double click. It now gives you a hint on how the function works. It shows that it's sum number 1, number 2, right to number n. So for our calculation, we'll just click on the first cell, which we're supposed to sum F13. Then we will drag across to the last cell. And if we press our enter key, it gives us the sum. Then for the total coefficient for this first term, we'll also use the sum function equals to, we'll give the name. Then for this coefficient, if you look at here, you discover that we're not supposed to include history. So we'll start from biology right up to physics. Then we'll put a comma. Then we'll continue after history, that is geography from cell C17. So we'll click there and pull across to physical education, which is C21. After that, we'll press our enter key. It has shown us that the coefficient which we are supposed to use to calculate the student's average for this term is 25. Then for us to have the average, it will be equal to the total mark for the student for first sequence is in cell F22. So it's equals to F22. Then we're doing division. Division, you just use the slash. Then the coefficient is in E22. So it's equals to F22 divided by E22. We'll press our enter key. So the average for first sequence is 11.3. Then the next thing which we are supposed to do is to calculate for the second sequence. So for the second sequence, we're just going to do the same thing, equal to the total marks times the marks for times the coefficient for biology, and we'll press our enter key. Then when we click, we'll come to the bottom right of the cell and we'll pull across. We have all the marks. Then we'll delete for history, since the student did not do history, and also delete for English language, since the student did not do English language. Then for us to get our total, we're going to use a sum function equals to sum. Then we'll click from the first, we'll pull across, and we'll press the enter key. Then for our coefficient for second sequence is going to be equals to, we'll also use a sum function. So here we will start, we'll skip history. Excuse me. I'm supposed to put equal to sum. When we double click here, we'll select now from biology to physics, we'll skip history. So to skip, we'll put a comma. We'll go to the next, geography. We'll put a comma since we have to skip English. I'll take from French, of course, to physical education. I'll take an enter key. So the coefficient which we are using here is 20. Then to have our average is equal to the total mark is found in I-22. You put your division ish 22. You press your enter key. You have 11.3. Then to have our total for the term, it will be the same, equals to the average which we have here. Okay. Excuse me, I'm supposed to wipe this average. We're supposed to compute this average together. So for us to get the average is equal to, you use the average, the name of the function average. So it has given us a hint that is number 1 up to number continuous. So the average here will be for the average of our first test, which is E13. Then comma, the second test is H13 for biology, and you press your enter key. It gives you 10. You take your mouse to the bottom right, you click and you pull across to give you the average for all the other subjects. So our total, the total will be the same as we did the total for the first and second sequence. So it will be equals to what we have in our average times the coefficient, and we'll press our enter key. Then from there, we'll pull across to have for all the other subjects. So discover that history, we're not supposed to evaluate history. Then the next thing which we're supposed to calculate is the total coefficient here. We're not supposed to pull this across. So the total coefficient here is supposed to be equal to, we'll now sum all the coefficient that we need. So sum from here to, from biology to physics, that is CE 13 right up to CE 15. Now put a comma. We'll skip history. We'll continue after geography. So physical education. Then we'll press our bracket. We did not put the name of the function here, so it's sum. So the coefficient we're manipulating is 25. Then to have this total mass is equals to, is also our sum function. Select from the first right up to the last. Then we'll close the bracket and we'll press our enter key. The total mass is 274. To also have the term average is now equals to the total marks for the term 274 divided by the average for the term. I'll press the enter key. So it's supposed to give you 10.96. Then the last function which we're going to use is to have a remark. To have a remark, we're going to use the if function. I told you that every function begins with an equal to, and then after equal to, we have the name of the function. So how does this if function works? Well, I've been given a hint here. It says if, then the logical test, then comma, the value if it is true. So what we want to display here, we want to display a situation where if a student performs very well, we're supposed to tell the student you have done, your remark is very good. Like, let's say if the student has from 15 and above, will be very good. Between 14, or let's say between 15, between 13 and 15, you have good. Between 11 and 13, you have fair. Between 10 and 11, you have good or average. That's how it's always displayed on your report card. So we'll start. The first thing which we are going to do is to have the cell which we are manipulating. We're manipulating for average. So the average of biology is found in J13. So equals to if J13 is greater than, for it is greater than 14.9, or put comma, what are we displaying? We want to display very good. Whatever you want to display, you can put it in inverted comma, or you must put it in inverted comma. So you open your inverted comma, you write very good. You close your inverted comma. Then you put comma, you continue again. If you open your bracket, will do the same thing. If this J13 is greater than, if J13 is greater than, if J13 is greater than, if J13 is greater than, now one should have, the next remark is supposed to be good. So it's supposed to be greater than 13.9. So comma, what are we displaying? We're displaying good. Then we close our inverted comma, comma, we'll still continue. If you still open your bracket, we have the same J13 should be greater than, the value of J13 should be greater than 12 or 11.9, because 12 is supposed to give us the remark of fair. So comma, you open your inverted comma, you write fair, you close your inverted comma, comma, if the next criteria is say J13, which we're evaluating. No, we're supposed to put after the if, we're supposed to open a bracket. If open a bracket, J13 is J13 is greater than, J13 is greater than 10. That is 9.99, excuse me, comma, if it's greater than it, we're supposed to display, what are we supposed to display? We're supposed to display average. Then comma, if open, now the average I'm supposed to, comma, if bracket open, see J13, J13 is greater than 7.9, comma, we should display weak. Then comma, if open our bracket, after week we're supposed to have, after week we're supposed to have poor, so we don't need any condition. So I just supposed to put comma, open right, or anything after week is supposed to be poor. So we don't need the condition for the last option. Then we are farming things I will display or displaying very good, 1, good 2, fair 3, average 4, week 5, poor 6. So we're supposed to close 6 brackets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As open 6 before and press the enter key. So we have 10. 10 is supposed to display us. Okay, so the formula works. I was supposed to put 14.9 and went and put 4.9. So when you click across, you see that what you have in your manual is actually what has been displayed. In the next way, to show if the student pass or fail. So for somebody to pass, the average is supposed to be 10 and above or greater than 9.9. So we'll just put equals to, we'll still use the if function. If the average is found in this, excuse me, after if, we'll open our brackets. Then we'll now look at where the average is found. So if J3 is greater than 9.9, so put comma, what are we displaying? We're displaying pass. Just inverted comma. If you don't pass, there are two conditions. If you don't pass, you fail. So if you don't pass, we'll display fail. Then also close the inverted comma. We'll open one bracket, we're supposed to close the bracket. I'll press the enter key. And that's we have had pass. So fellow students, this is all for the first lesson. I hope you have understood. If you have any worries, you should try and write. Let us check it out. So goodbye and have a nice day.